Welcome back to another episode of the MRP Easy Manufacturing Podcast. Today, we're talking about warehouse organization. There are many moving parts to running a profitable business. One critical but often overlooked component is efficient warehouse organization. Here's why it's important, along with 10 tips to improve your organization and keep your warehouse running smoothly. First off, what is warehouse organization? Warehouse organization is how you set up your stockroom to run a more profitable business. It's also about laying out equipment and work processes to increase operational efficiency. Picture the difference between your messy garage where nothing's where it should be and a mechanic's shop where every wrench has its spot. An effective warehouse setup does more than create storage space. You're designing a workflow where materials come in, get processed or picked for customer orders, and then ship out as finished products, all without creating traffic jams or wasted motion. Your warehouse needs some basic components working in harmony to keep order fulfillment operations running smoothly. This includes physical layout and space utilization, inventory management systems and protocols, clearly defined workstations, and documentation and tracking procedures. What separates real warehouse organization from simply finding empty floor space for your materials is logical storage layout. Most businesses shove inventory wherever it fits, but smart warehouse managers ask different questions such as, which items move fastest or are best sellers? How can we cut down the stocking and picking process times? And what's the logical flow from receiving to shipping? This planning pays off in ways you can measure. Your warehouse employees will work faster, make fewer mistakes, and you'll pack more into your available space. All of this affects your profit margins favorably. Now let's talk more about the benefits of a well-organized warehouse. There are at least 5 tangible benefits to your business operations when you take the time to create an optimized warehouse plan. Once you get started, you may discover even more. But at a minimum, a well-organized warehouse will deliver the following: improved operational efficiency. A structured warehouse layout reduces order picking and fulfillment times, streamlines receiving and put-away processes, and helps maximize labor productivity and resource utilization across the board. Lower operational costs. With better organization, you can cut inventory carrying costs, reduce labor expenses through more efficient workflows, and minimize product damage and losses due to better handling and storage practices. Higher customer satisfaction. When your warehouse runs like clockwork, orders are processed and shipped faster, accuracy improves, and delivery times become more consistent. This leads to happier, more loyal customers. Enhanced safety and compliance. A clean, well-laid-out warehouse reduces the risk of workplace accidents and injuries, makes it easier to meet regulatory requirements, and improves your team's ability to respond effectively in emergency situations. Stronger scalability and growth potential. Good organization lays the groundwork for expansion. It supports more flexible systems that can handle higher volumes and allows for more accurate capacity planning and forecasting. Let's also touch on the impacts of poor warehousing. Poor or inadequate warehouse planning can be absolutely detrimental to your manufacturing or distribution operation. Here are a few of the negative impacts stemming from unorganized warehousing practices. First are the financial consequences. Poor organization leads to increased operating costs, excess waste, and lost sales due to stockouts or delayed shipments. It can also drive up insurance premiums and expose the business to costly liability claims. Second are operational disruptions. Inventory discrepancies, fulfillment bottlenecks, and frequent equipment issues can slow your processes or even bring operations to a halt, affecting overall throughput and productivity. Next is customer relationship damage. Inaccurate orders and late deliveries frustrate customers and inevitably damage your brand. Over time, this will lead to declining trust, lost repeat business, and a weakened market reputation. Finally, there are employee safety concerns. Cluttered, poorly managed spaces increase the risk of workplace injuries. This affects employee morale and productivity, but can also result in compliance violations and regulatory penalties. So how should you organize your warehouse? A structured, phased approach to warehouse organization requires that you follow certain steps. By pre-planning, you guarantee that the end result will meet your warehousing needs, now and in the future. Start by planning and assessing your space to get some good warehouse organization ideas. Planning and assessment phase. First, grab a tape measure and walk around your warehouse space, noting everything from ceiling height to where those support beams get in the way. Look at what you're actually storing and shipping. Which products move constantly and which ones sit around for months. Figure out what you're trying to fix with this reorganization. Maybe you want workers spending less time hunting for items and fewer accidents, or you need to squeeze more inventory into your current building. A good goal is to streamline your shipping and receiving process. Warehouse setup and layout basics. Setting up a practical warehouse demands close attention to the layout of the basic individual areas needed for operation. The location and number of some of these stations will depend on the size and configuration of the warehouse space. However, the following 6 areas are must-haves. Number 1, loading dock. This area is located for truck and delivery van access. It serves 2 purposes: shipping out orders and receiving incoming shipments. Ideally, you'll have 2 doors, one for each purpose. Many larger warehouses will have 3 or more doors. Number 2, reception area. Also known as receiving, this workstation is used to check incoming goods for damage and completeness. Often, a desk with a digital workstation will be used, tying the receiving area with your inventory management solution. Number 3, storage area. Comprising most of the warehouse, this area serves a twofold purpose. It stores parts and components for production, as well as a designated area for WIP storage. Additionally, another section will be used to store finished products that are ready for order fulfillment. Number 4, picking. This is both a process and an area. Items for order fulfillment are taken from storage and placed in a picking area where they can be sorted for appropriate distribution. Be sure to keep this area separate from the shipping and receiving areas and from the area where items are picked for production. Number 5, packing and dispatch. This is where items are readied for shipping to customers and retailers or distributors. Products are packed, labeled, and recorded before being placed on the truck or delivery van. Because several orders may be readied for shipment simultaneously, be sure to provide this process ample room. Lastly, number 6, service areas. While not directly related to goods handling, these areas are important to the personnel involved. They may include some or all of the following areas: office spaces, break rooms, lavatories, kitchens, and other areas to serve employee needs. Many warehouses also have a separate contained area for the servicing of forklifts, pallet jacks, and other warehouse equipment. Warehouse layout design principles. Unoptimized warehouse layouts force people to walk all over the place for no good reason. Design your floor plan so workers can move in fairly straight paths instead of constantly backtracking. You've probably got tons of wasted vertical space near the ceiling that could store items you don't touch very often. Don't let your receiving area turn into a traffic jam with your shipping dock floor plan. Put the stuff you handle daily close to where it gets processed, not buried in the back corner where someone has to hike to find it. Zone allocation and setup. Your receiving area needs enough room to actually inspect what comes in from your supply chain, not just a corner where boxes and totes get dumped until someone deals with them later. Set up storage zones based on how often you touch different products. Daily movers get prime real estate while monthly items can live further out. Also, create a picking area that makes sense for your operation, whether that's individual orders or batching multiple orders together. Your packing and shipping zone should have enough space to stage orders without creating a bottleneck when trucks show up. Infrastructure and equipment considerations. Don't buy fancy pallet racking systems until you know what you're actually storing and how much weight those shelves need to handle. Pick equipment that matches your daily reality. Maybe you only need a dolly for moving boxes, or maybe you're constantly shifting pallets and need something bigger. Safety gear and clear signage aren't suggestions, they're requirements. It's also important to wire for power and internet before you install shelving. Trust me on this one. Adding electrical later means tearing apart your nice new setup. Now, to help you better manage your space, here are 10 warehouse organization best practices. Number 1, mark the areas. Floor tape, signs, and paint help everyone know where things go. Use different colored tape to keep foot traffic separate from forklifts, mark dangerous areas, or show which storage areas handle specific products. Number 2, create a code system for your SKUs. Develop a logical numbering system for every product you handle. Your SKU codes should make sense to your team and stay consistent whether items come from different suppliers or get sold through different channels. Number 3, label everything. Stick labels on your inventory, but don't stop there. Put labels on your aisles, shelves, bins, dock stations, and even your warehouse storage equipment. Workers waste less time searching when they can see exactly what belongs where because of a clear labeling system. Number 4, document every movement. Keep track of what happens to your inventory, whether it's arrivals, moves to production, or shipments out. This creates an inventory control record for accounting, stops theft, and helps you trace problems back to their source. Number 5, use barcoding. Barcode scanners eliminate guesswork and automate inventory updates. Instead of writing everything down by hand, workers scan items and your stock levels stay current automatically. Number 6, track expiration dates. If you handle anything with a defined shelf life, mark it clearly and use the oldest stock first. In other words, the first expired, first out protocol. Nobody wants to discover expired inventory sitting on their shelves after it's too late. Number 7, use A/B/C analysis to accelerate picking. Put your best-selling items closest to where they get picked and shipped. Slower moving inventory can live further away since workers don't need to access it as often. Number 8, conduct quality inspections when receiving goods. Check what comes in before it goes on your pallet racking shelves. Catching defective or wrong items at the dock prevents bigger problems later in your process. Number 9, perform regular maintenance. Keep your warehouse workspace clean and make sure any spills are removed. Adequate lighting keeps down human error in picking. Equipment, both hand-powered and otherwise, should be kept in good working order. And finally, number 10, review and improve. Check for bottlenecks and problems regularly. Your setup from last year might not work as well now that your business has changed, which means you may need to find new storage solutions. Here's a bonus tip. Use manufacturing ERP software with integrated warehouse management to manage all of these steps and more. Let's cover that in depth now. Warehouse management software for small manufacturers. Most small manufacturers start tracking inventory with a clipboard or maybe a spreadsheet. That works fine when handling a dozen parts, but try managing hundreds of SKUs with paper, and you'll spend more time hunting for information than actually running your business. Warehouse management software, also known as WMS, fixes that problem. Here's what you need to know about the benefits, key features to look for, and how to choose a WMS that fits your budget. Benefits of warehouse management systems. Remember the last time you thought you had something in stock but couldn't find it anywhere? Warehouse management software eliminates these kinds of worries. It lets you see what's actually in your warehouse instead of relying on guesswork. When a customer calls asking if you have a product available, you can give them an accurate answer on the spot that's based on real data. The software updates stock levels every time inventory moves and links it to your accounting, eliminating duplicate data entry and keeping the cost of goods sold in balance. A WMS will also include tools for locating, picking, and dispatching items more easily, using features like barcode inventory systems, lot tracking, delivery and order management, and more. Key features to look for in a WMS. Fancy features look impressive in demos, but you need functionality that works. Choose systems that can handle your specific inventory, particularly if you need to track lot numbers for quality control or manage products with shelf lives. You want something that makes picking orders faster and keeps customers happy with accurate shipping updates. The reports should tell you which products are your moneymakers and which ones are just taking up space. Another must-have is the ability to record and track individual components and completed products throughout the supply chain, from receiving to fulfillment. This gives you the necessary traceability in the event of product recalls, defective products, or compliance issues. Choosing the right solution. Start by making a list of your actual warehouse problems, not what you think you should have, but what's actually costing you time and money right now. Test how different systems handle your specific products and processes, not just the polished demo scenarios that make everything look easy. Ask challenging questions during demos. How long does it take to train someone new? Can you export data if you ever need to move it between systems? How much does adding another user cost as your team grows? Will the software work with your preferred e-commerce vendors? Look at both startup costs and what you'll pay down the road. Some software packages cost more initially, but give you everything, while others offer affordable essentials with options to bump tiers when you need extra features. Calculate your spending over a few years, not just the first year. The real question is whether the software will save you enough time and money to pay for itself. If you can't see a clear return on investment, it's probably not the right fit. Here are some key takeaways from this podcast. First, warehouse organization isn't optional for growing manufacturers. It's the foundation of profitable stocking operations. Second, planning comes before purchasing. It's crucial to understand your workflows before buying equipment or software, or laying out the warehouse space. Warehouse management software pays for itself when it's set up to solve actual pain points, not for flashy features. Best practices for warehouse organization include conducting inventory analysis, documenting everything, cleaning the warehouse regularly, clearly marking areas, creating an intuitive SKU system, implementing a barcode system, and others. And lastly, small improvements in warehouse organization create big impacts on your bottom line. Ready to get started? Here's how to tackle warehouse organization without overwhelming your operation. Start with an assessment. Walk around your warehouse floor with fresh eyes and identify your biggest pain points. Focus on problems that cost you time or money every day. Pick your battles. The best practices work as a system, but you don't have to implement them all at once. Choose 2 to 3 that address your most urgent issues first, then move on to the next project. Each improvement makes the next one easier to implement. Get your team involved. The people who work in your warehouse every day know where the problems are. Listen to their input and get them excited about making improvements. Measure your progress. Track picking process times, human error rates, or whatever matters most to your operations profitability metrics. When you can see improvements, it motivates everyone to keep going. That wraps up this episode of the MRP Easy Manufacturing Podcast. Thanks for tuning in. For more information about us, visit mrpeasy.com. See you next time.